picture frame shatters against the floor before I even realize he threw it. Glass scatters across my bare feet. I freeze, stare at the broken pieces. Our engagement photo, smiling, happy. Lies. Be honest, he says. Voice sharp, controlled, dangerous. Without me, you'd be nothing. I look up at the man I thought I knew, the man I was supposed to marry, in 3 months. What are you talking about? He laughs, not kindly, not warmly, cruelly. You think you earned anything at that job? I've been carrying you. My chest tightens, my throat burns. Carrying me? What does that mean? It means he steps closer, voice dripping contempt. I've been meeting with your supervisor for weeks, managing your reputation, fixing your mistakes. The room tilts. Everything shifts. My supervisor? Weeks? You've been what? Keeping you employed. That's what. You're welcome. He didn't just leave me. He's been rewriting my life, behind my back, undermining me, while pretending to support me. You had no right. I had every right, as your fiancé, as someone who actually understands how things work. Glass crunches under his shoe, as he walks past me, toward the bedroom. Pack my things. I'm staying at Carter's tonight. Wait, we'll talk when you're ready to be grateful. Grateful for being sabotaged, for being controlled, for being erased, by the man who said he loved me. The door slams. I stand there, in broken glass, in broken trust, in broken everything, and I don't know what's real anymore. My name is Keely Rowan. I'm 30 years old, compliance analyst, financial services firm, 5 years with the company, consistent performer, steady promoter, reliable, or I thought I was. I built my career quietly, carefully, no drama, no shortcuts, just solid work, thorough analysis, dependable results. I met Austin, my fiancé, was 2 years ago, industry networking event. He was charming, successful, director level, different company, same sector. We dated, fell in love, moved in together, got engaged last year. Everything seemed perfect. He understood my work, gave me advice, offered guidance. You should phrase it this way. Don't lead with that. Let me review it first. I thought he was helping, supporting, protecting. Now I realize he was controlling, diminishing, positioning himself as essential, as superior, as the reason for my success. And I trusted him. Not just with my heart, but with my confidence, my career, my sense of self. I let him in, completely, totally, and he used it to make himself feel bigger by making me feel smaller, until I forgot who I was before him, what I could do without him, what I was worth, on my own. He took that systematically, deliberately, cruelly, and I'm only now seeing it clearly, finally too late, or maybe just in time. He walks away, like he didn't just break something inside me. I stay on the floor, longer than I should. Glass around me, phone in my hand, not calling anyone, not texting, not crying, just sitting, in the wreckage of what I thought was my life. I should call someone, my best friend Simone, my sister, my mom, but I don't, because I don't know what to say, how to explain that the man I was going to marry has been sabotaging me at work while I slept, next to him, trusted him, loved him. How do I explain? I didn't see it, didn't notice, didn't question. When he started reviewing my work, suggesting changes, protecting me from my own career, I replay everything, every conversation, every suggestion, every time he said, let me handle this. You're not ready for that. Trust me, I know better. And I did. I trusted him, completely, blindly, stupidly. Now I'm questioning everything, every success, every failure, every decision. Was it mine or his? Did I earn it, or did he manipulate it? Am I competent, or have I been a puppet this whole time? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. Except that the man I loved just told me I'm nothing without him, and part of me, the part he's been carefully cultivating for 2 years, believes him. I start replaying everything, every interaction, every helpful comment. 6 months ago, I was leading a compliance review, important project, high visibility. Austin reviewed my presentation. This is too aggressive, you'll seem difficult. I softened it, made it gentler, less direct. The project got reassigned to someone else, more senior. They said. Austin consoled me. It's okay, you weren't ready anyway. I believed him. 4 months ago, I found a major discrepancy in client reporting, brought it to Austin, first, before my supervisor. Are you sure you don't want to look paranoid? I hesitated, waited. By the time I reported it, someone else had already flagged it, got the credit. See, you overthink things, Austin said. I believed him. 2 months ago, I was offered a lateral move, different team, more responsibility. Austin said, that's a trap. They're trying to overwork you. I declined. Someone else took it, got promoted, last month. You're not cut out for leadership anyway, Austin said. I believed him. Every time. I believed him. Over myself, over my instincts, over my abilities. And now, sitting here in broken glass, I see it. He wasn't helping, he was handicapping, he wasn't protecting, he was positioning himself as necessary, me as insufficient. And I let him rewrite my confidence until I needed him to validate every decision, every move, every breath. At the office, Monday morning, things feel different, or maybe I'm just seeing clearly finally. The weekly meeting I used to lead, present findings, make recommendations, drive decisions. Now I'm just included. Sitting at the table while someone else presents, someone else decides, someone else leads. When did that happen? How did I not notice? My supervisor Cameron glances at me, then away quickly, like he's uncomfortable. I think about what Austin said. I've been meeting with your supervisor. What did he say? What did he tell Cameron? About me, about my work, about my capabilities. I want to ask, want to confront, but I don't because I'm not sure. I want to know the answer. After the meeting, I return to my desk, email waiting from Cameron. Can we talk? My office, 3 p.m. My stomach drops. This is it. Whatever Austin did, whatever he said, it's coming. I spend the afternoon pretending to work, actually spiraling, imagining every terrible scenario, demotion, termination, performance review, discipline, all because my fiancé decided I wasn't good enough and convinced my supervisor of the same. 3 p.m. Cameron's office, he gestures to a chair. I sit, wait. He doesn't meet. My eyes, just shuffles papers, clears throat. Keely, I wanted to check in. Okay, how are you feeling about your role, your work? Trap question. I know it, fine, why? Just, there have been concerns. My heart pounds. What concerns? About your confidence, your readiness for advancement. There it is, Austin's poison, working. Who raised these concerns? Cameron shifts, uncomfortable. It came up in discussions with stakeholders. What stakeholders? I can't. That's confidential. Was it Austin? His face answers before his mouth. I can't discuss specific conversations. But he did talk to you about me. Pause. Long. Heavy. He expressed concern as someone who knows your work. He doesn't work here. He works in the industry. His perspective was considered. His perspective that I'm incompetent? No one said. Incompetent. Then what? That you might benefit from additional support before taking on leadership roles. Additional support. Translation. Babysitting. Because Austin convinced them I need it. I see. This isn't a bad thing. We all need support sometimes. Right. I stand. Thanks for the talk. I leave. Before he can see me break, I realize, walking back to my desk, he wasn't just criticizing me at home. He was building a narrative at work, professionally, systematically, undermining me to people who matter while I slept beside him, trusted him, loved him. He was poisoning my reputation, my opportunities, my future. And I let him. I gave him access to my career, my insecurities, my fears, told him about my challenges, my mistakes, my doubts, and he weaponized all of it against me, to my supervisor, to stakeholders, to anyone who would listen, positioning himself as the expert, the insider, the one who really knows Keely Rowan and what she's capable of, which according to him isn't much without him. I sit at my desk, numb, angry, humiliated. He didn't just break my heart, he tried to break my career and almost succeeded because I trusted the wrong person. With everything, I had everything I was. And he used it to make himself feel superior, important, necessary, while making me feel small, dependent, insufficient. It worked until today, until I saw what he'd done, what he'd been doing, for months, maybe longer, and I can't unsee it, can unhear his words. You'd be nothing without me. Maybe he's right, or maybe I just need to find out what I am without him. The distance grows fast. Austin moves out that week, takes his things while I'm at work. No conversation, no apology, no explanation. Just gone, leaving behind empty drawers, dust outlines, silence. A text arrives. Staying at Carter's, needs space to think. Space to think about what, how to further destroy me. I don't respond. What would I say? He doesn't call, doesn't check in, doesn't seem to care. That he just imploded our relationship, our engagement, our future. Like I was the temporary part of his life, easily discarded, when no longer useful, or entertaining, or controllable. I should feel devastated, and I do. But also, relieved. Which confuses me. How can I miss someone who hurt me? How can I mourn something that was built on lies and manipulation? I don't tell people, not yet. Don't announce the breakup, don't change my social media, don't remove the ring, just exist in this limbo of almost engaged, almost destroyed, almost free, but not quite. Any of them. Work continues, people don't know. Don't see the unraveling, just see. Keely Rowan, compliance analyst, doing her job quietly, competently alone, which is how I've always been. I just forgot for a while when someone convinced me I needed them to be whole, to be successful, to be anything, but I was whole before him. I just need to remember how I almost quit. Thursday afternoon, sitting at my desk, staring at a blank email, draft resignation, subject notice of resignation, body empty. Because I don't know what to say, how to explain that I can't work here anymore, where everyone thinks I'm incompetent, where my supervisor doubts me, where Austin's poison has spread too far to recover. My cursor blinks, waiting for words that won't come. I could leave, start over, somewhere new, where no one knows, Austin's version of me, where I could be. Just Keely, without his narrative, following me, but something stops me. Stubbornness maybe, or pride or anger, or the realization that running lets him win, proves him right, that I can't survive without him, that I am nothing without his support, his guidance, his permission to exist. Professionally, I close the draft, delete it, decide. Not today, not like this, not because he broke me. If I leave, it'll be my choice, my decision, my next move, not his, not a reaction to his cruelty, but a step towards something better. For now, I stay, I work, I prove I'm still here, still capable, still standing, even without his voice in my ear telling me what to think, what to do, what to be. Friday afternoon, email arrives, subject confidential opportunity. I blink, read it again. Sender, executive HR, my stomach flips. This is it, the termination, dressed up as opportunity. I open it, slowly. Dear Miss Rowan, you have been identified for a confidential leadership assignment. This is a selective opportunity requiring discretion and professionalism. If interested, please respond by end of business today. Further details will be provided upon acceptance. Regards, Executive Human Resources. I read it, twice, then 3 times. Leadership assignment, confidential, selective. They chose me, not someone else, not someone Austin approved of. Me. I check the sender, verify it's legitimate, not a mistake, not spam, real email, real opportunity, real choice. Why me? Why now? After everything Austin said, after Cameron's concerns, after I've been sidelined, diminished, erased, why would they choose me for anything, let alone leadership, unless they don't know what Austin said, or they don't care, or they see something he tried to hide? I hover over reply, debating, should I? Can I? Do I deserve this? Then I remember his words, you'd be nothing without me, and I type, I accept. Send, before I can, second guess, before I can, let his voice talk me out of something that might be mine, finally, completely, mine. The details arrive Monday morning, new email, more specific, internal oversight team, temporary assignment, 6 months, immediate start, restricted access, confidential work, report directly to executive leadership. My heart pounds. This is real, significant, important. They want me for compliance oversight, internal investigations, sensitive matters, the work I've always wanted. The advancement Austin said I wasn't ready for, the leadership he convinced Cameron I couldn't handle, and they're offering it to me. Anyway, instructions included. Report Wednesday, 8 a.m. Building entrance, security will escort, badge will be provided, notify no one, assignment confidential. I read it 5 times, memorizing every detail, every word, every opportunity. I don't tell anyone, not Simone, not my sister, not Cameron, especially not Austin, who's still texting occasionally about logistics, about stuff, about nothing that matters. I don't mention the opportunity, the assignment, the chance, because for once, this is mine, not ours, not his, mine, to succeed at or fail at on my own without his input, his criticism, his control, just mine, completely, finally, terrifyingly mine. And I want to see what I can do when no one's telling me I can't. Wednesday morning, I arrive early, 7:45 a.m., building entrance as instructed, wearing my best suit, professional, confident, ready, or trying to be. A woman approaches, security badge, professional smile. Keely Rowan? Yes, please come with me. She leads me, not to elevators, to a side entrance. Private access, badge scanner, retinal scan, security checkpoint. Different from normal entry, more serious, more secure, more real. 2 escorts appear, security personnel. Professional, silent, they flank me, not threatening, just official, like I'm important or dangerous or both. We walk through corridors I've never seen, to elevators that require Special access. One escort scans his badge, enters a code. The elevator opens. We enter. He presses. Executive floor, the doors close. And I realize this isn't just an assignment. This is something bigger, something I was chosen for a reason. I don't know what yet, but I will soon. The elevator opens to a floor I've never accessed. Executive level, restricted access, quiet, professional, serious. People move purposefully, speak in low voices. Everything here matters. The escorts lead me to HR, where I'm given a new badge, different color, different clearance, different access. This grants entry to restricted areas. Don't share it, don't lose it. I won't. Then to a conference room where 3 people wait. Executive leadership. They stand, shake my hand. Professional, welcoming, serious. Thank you for accepting this assignment, of course. What we're about to discuss is confidential. Understood? Yes, we're conducting internal oversight of compliance processes across departments. We need someone with your background, your eye for detail, your integrity. Integrity. The word lands heavy, meaningful. They chose me for integrity, not despite what Austin said, but maybe because of who I actually am. You'll review flagged accounts, approval processes, reporting procedures, look for irregularities, patterns, concerns. I understand this is sensitive. People's careers are at stake. We need discretion. You have it. They brief me for an hour on scope, on authority, on expectations. And I realize this is real. This matters. This is exactly what I'm good at, what I've always been good at when no one was telling me I wasn't. My new office is on the restricted floor, small, private, secure, everything locked, everything monitored, everything confidential. I settle in, slowly, carefully. The first files arrive, digitally encrypted. I open them, start reviewing, approval chains, signature patterns, transaction histories, looking for what doesn't fit, what doesn't make sense, what raises questions. Hours pass, people walk by quietly, conversations stop. When I'm near, not rudely, just professionally, like everyone here knows something serious is happening and I'm part of it. At lunch, I walk the restricted floor, observing, learning, understanding the layout, the people, the atmosphere. Everything here feels different from regular floors, more focused, more intense, more real, like this is where actual decisions happen, where truth gets discovered, where justice gets served. And I'm here, not as an observer, not as support staff, but as someone who matters, someone with authority, someone chosen for this. Despite what Austin said, despite what he tried to make me believe, I'm here doing work that matters. Finally, by end of week 1, patterns emerge in the files, approvals bypassing standard review, signatures appearing without proper authorization, transactions flagged by automated systems, then cleared manually without documentation. I make notes, careful, detailed, not jumping to conclusions, just documenting what I see, what doesn't fit, what needs further review. Friday afternoon, my supervisor for this assignment, Victoria, stops by. How's it going? Finding patterns. Need more data. What kind of patterns? Approval irregularities across multiple departments. Which departments? I pull up my notes, list them. She nods, makes her own notes. Keep digging. This is what we suspected. Suspected what? That processes were being circumvented. We just needed someone with your analytical eye to confirm. My analytical eye. The thing Austin called overthinking, being paranoid, not trusting enough. Here it's valued, essential, the reason I was chosen. I'll continue the review. Good. And Keely? Yes? Be careful, some of these files involve senior people, people with influence. I understand. She leaves, and I return to the data, knowing now this isn't just compliance, this is something bigger, something that could change careers, reputations, futures, including mine, for better or worse. Week 2. The patterns get clearer, approval shortcuts, signature inconsistencies, policy bypasses, all pointing to specific accounts, specific processes, specific people. I create a timeline, cross-reference transactions, map connections between approvals and approvers, and I start recognizing things, familiar patterns, similar language, specific phrasing I've seen before somewhere. The realization comes slowly, then all at once. These aren't random errors, these are deliberate processes. Someone created, someone maintained, someone benefited from. And the signatures, the approvals, the language, all remind me of someone I know. Someone who works in this industry, someone with knowledge of these systems, someone who told me he was managing relationships, building influence, positioning himself. I pull up more files, Search specific keywords, names, dates in there. Buried in approval chains, I see it. His name, not prominent, not obvious, but there, Austin as external consultant. On 3 flagged accounts, my stomach drops. I stare at his name. On the screen, Austin Hayes, external consultant, vendor management, advisory role. 3 accounts, all flagged. For review, all showing irregularities. I scroll through details he provided. Process optimization, translation unclear. He recommended approval streamlining, translation shortcuts. He facilitated vendor relationships, translation unknown, but all 3 accounts show patterns of policy bypasses, unauthorized approvals, missing documentation. Exactly what? I'm investigating. My hands shake slightly as I document everything. Screenshot, cross-reference, build timeline. He was involved, not peripherally but centrally, in the very processes now under investigation. Did he know, when he was meeting with Cameron, undermining me, that his own work here was questionable? Did he sabotage me to prevent me from seeing this, from reviewing his accounts, from discovering what he'd done? Is that why he kept me small, uncertain, dependent? So I wouldn't look too closely at things. He needed hidden, the full picture, forms over the next few days. Austin didn't just undermine me at home, at work. He positioned himself strategically, using me as cover, as legitimacy, as someone in compliance who trusted him, validated him, made him seem credible. My fiancé works in compliance, she says my processes are solid. Did he say that to people here? Using my reputation, my role, my trust to legitimize his questionable work, while simultaneously destroying my confidence, so I wouldn't question him, wouldn't review his work, wouldn't see the irregularities. It was calculated, systematic, brilliant, and cruel. He needed me, uncertain, dependent, grateful. So I'd never look at him too closely, never question his advice, his influence, his activities. He kept me close enough to use, far enough to control. And I let him, because I loved him, because I trusted him, because I thought he was protecting me. When really, he was protecting himself. From me. From what I might discover, if I ever looked clearly at who he actually was, what he actually did, and why he really needed me, diminished. I know things now, things I didn't understand before. The late nights, he said, were networking, were probably covering tracks. The stress he blamed on demanding clients was probably fear of discovery. The distance he called needing space was probably pulling away before I got too close to the truth. The meeting with Cameron wasn't about protecting me, it was about protecting himself, by ensuring I stayed away from oversight roles, away from his accounts, away from discovery. Every cruel word, every diminishment, every time he made me feel small, wasn't random, wasn't thoughtless, was strategic, necessary for his plan to work. I sit with this knowledge, this truth, this betrayal that's deeper than I thought, worse than I imagined, more calculated than I feared. He didn't just break my heart. He used me, deliberately, to hide his crimes, his violations, his corruption. And when I became a risk, when this assignment came up, he discarded me, violently, publicly, with a picture frame and cruel words designed to make me too broken to accept this opportunity, too uncertain to trust myself, too small to stand in truth. It almost worked. I almost quit, almost walked away, almost proved him right that I was nothing without him, but I didn't. And now, I know everything. I don't confront him, don't call, don't text, don't warn that I know what he did, what he's doing, what's coming. I just work, quietly, professionally, documenting everything, building the case, not for revenge, but for truth, for justice, for all the people he manipulated, used, betrayed, including me, but not just me. Victoria checks in. You're finding a lot, yes, including external consultants? Yes. Anyone you recognize? Pause. She knows or suspects. One name is familiar. Your former fiancé? I look up, surprised. We do. Background checks on all oversight team members. We knew about the relationship. You still chose me? We chose you because of your integrity, not despite potential conflicts. Does he know I'm working this case? No. Assignment rosters are confidential. Good. Why? Because this isn't about him and me, it's about what's right. She nods, approving. That's why we chose you. She leaves and I continue. Working, not to punish Austin, not to prove he was wrong about me, but to do what I'm good at, what I've always been good at, finding truth in numbers and patterns and things people try to hide. That's strength, not him, never him, just me, doing what I was meant to do. Finally, without anyone telling me I can't. Everything connects by week 4. The meetings he had with Cameron weren't just about undermining me. They were about preventing me from getting oversight roles where I might review his work. The pressure he put on me to quit, to stay small, to doubt myself, was designed to keep me away from truth. The manipulation, the control, the cruelty, all served one purpose: protecting himself by destroying me, not because he didn't love me, but because he couldn't afford for me to be strong, confident, empowered in my role. I might discover what he'd done. I document the final pieces: timeline of his involvement, evidence of policy violations, approval bypasses, missing authorizations, cross-reference with his meetings with Cameron, with his comments about me, about my readiness, about my capabilities. It all aligns perfectly, horribly, completely. He saw me as a threat, not as a partner, not as a fiancé, as someone who could destroy him if I ever looked closely. So he made sure I never would, by making sure I never could, by destroying my confidence, my career, my sense of self, until I was too small to see the truth. He was hiding. Victoria calls me to her office Friday afternoon. We're ready to finalize the report. Okay, your findings are substantial. Multiple violations, policy breaches, potential fraud. I documented everything, including the external consultant. Yes. Austin Hayes? Yes. Your former fiancé? Yes. This will affect him significantly. I pause. Think about the choice. I could protect him, minimize his involvement, explain away the irregularities, save him from consequences like I always have. Or I could protect myself, protect the truth, protect everyone he deceived, including me, especially me. I choose. Finally, clearly, completely. I stand by my findings. He violated policies, circumvented approvals, facilitated irregularities. That's what the evidence shows. Even knowing the consequences, especially knowing them, because that's what integrity means: not protecting people you love from truth, but standing in truth, even when it hurts, even when it costs, even when it destroys something you thought you wanted. Victoria nods. Thank you for your honesty, your thoroughness, your courage. Courage. I don't feel courageous, just tired of being small for someone who wanted me. Broken. I'm done being broken, done being small, done protecting people who hurt me. I choose me. Finally, the investigation closes. 2 weeks later, findings released, internally, professionally, multiple violations identified, documented, substantiated. Austin's involvement confirmed, his consulting contract terminated, his recommendations flagged, his reputation damaged, not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, thoroughly, permanently. He loses his consulting work, his industry standing, his credibility, his control over narratives, over people, over me. Not because I destroyed him, but because truth doesn't need volume, doesn't need drama, doesn't need revenge, just needs to be documented, presented, allowed to speak for itself. I hear through Victoria that he tried to fight, to explain, to rewrite the story. But evidence doesn't negotiate, doesn't compromise, doesn't bend to charm or manipulation or control. It just is, and what it is damning, complete, undeniable. He's done in this sector, in this role, in this life. He built on deception, and I feel nothing. Not satisfaction, not vindication, not joy. Just quiet resolution. That truth mattered more than his version, than his control, than his need to make me nothing without him. Victoria calls me to her office 4 weeks after report submitted. Keely, the assignment is concluding. I understand, but we'd like to offer you something permanent. I look up. What? Senior Compliance Officer, Oversight Division, permanent role, reporting to executive leadership. My heart pounds. You're serious? Completely. You've demonstrated exceptional judgment, analytical skills, integrity under pressure. I don't know what to say. Say yes. I think about everything that led here: the broken frame, the cruel words, the undermining, the doubt, the fear, the choice to stand. Anyway, yes. Excellent. HR will process everything. You start next month. She stands, shakes my hand. You earned this, not because of what happened, but because of who you are. Who I am, not who Austin said I was. Not nothing, not incompetent, not dependent, just me. Keely Rowan, compliance officer, analyst, truth finder, strong, capable, whole. Without him, despite him, because I chose to be. I leave her office, walk to mine, and I realize I'm not scared, not uncertain, not small. I'm just ready for what's next, for who I'm becoming, for the life I'm building, on my terms, my truth, my strength. Finally, 6 months later, my life is calm, steady, mine. I lead the oversight team, 4 analysts, all strong, all capable, all trusted. We investigate, we document, we find truth, and it matters, really matters. Austin is gone, from the industry, from my life, from my thoughts, mostly. Sometimes I wonder if he regrets his choices, his cruelty, his crimes, but mostly I don't care. He's not my story anymore, just a chapter that taught me what I won't accept, who I won't become, what I won't believe about myself ever again. People ask if I'm angry, I'm not. People ask if I'm sad, I'm not. I'm just clear about who I am, what I'm worth, what I deserve. No voice in my ear telling me I'm not enough, not ready, not capable, just silence. And in that silence I hear my own voice, finally, strong, clear, true. Austin said I'd be nothing without him. He was wrong. Completely, totally, obviously, wrong. I was everything once I stopped believing him, once I chose to trust myself over his words, my truth over his lies, my strength over his control. I'm not nothing, I'm exactly who I was meant to be, just took losing him to find her, and now that I have, I'm never letting anyone take her away again, not for love, not for comfort, not for anything. She's mine, hard-won, battle-tested, real, and she's enough, more than enough. She's everything.